One of the big successes in the BSV blockchain world is Codugh. It's an Australian startup and TAAL client that was founded by two university friends. A few years ago, they won a hackathon competition for a solution that gives developers the chance to license their APIs using blockchain technology. They haven't stopped innovating since. Today, Codugh co-founder Shashank Singhal joins us for this edition of TAAL Talks, where he discusses recent breakthroughs by his company. Shashank, nice to see you again, and thanks as always for taking the time.
My pleasure. Good to see you, Adrian. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Great. So Codugh has recently deployed What's on Chain, TAAL's blockchain explorer, for free on the Codugh marketplace. Tell me why is that important for you guys and the ecosystem?
Well, while What's on Chain sort of remains universally free, it existing on Codugh adds an extra sort of marketing and distribution channel for What's on Chain. Furthermore, for Codugh, it helps because it creates a better experience for new users coming to the platform for the first time. When they hop on, they see What's on Chain, which is obviously a very popular API that gets millions of calls a day on the platform, and that's there for them to use. So that's really great for both sides. Once What's on Chain actually sort of gets monetized, likely on a request, like after a free request per second cap, then users can use Codugh to use What's on Chain on a per call microtransaction basis, right? So that means that they're not getting pegged into sort of a monthly subscription fee where they're paying for a higher tier than they're actually using, and they're sort of wasting calls on that. They can pay for exactly what they use, and that's sort of the power of microtransactions and blockchain when it relates to sort of extracting the exact amount of value that you can from something that you're using. So that's how we see the value of What's on Chain coming on the Codugh platform for both the users of What's on Chain and the users of Codugh.
Yeah, and it's definitely a better way to streamline your budget, to help you determine your costs and save certainly save some money, both for yourself and your customers. And Codugh is among the earliest adopters of the STAS token protocol, another TAAL product. Tell us how you're using STAS and why you're so excited about what it can do.
Well, we're using STAS to power our microtransaction payment infrastructure. So Codugh is sort of fundamentally a microtransaction processing company more than anything else. So STAS powers the most essential part of our business. So we like STAS because the tokenization allows us to create value-pegged tokens. So users don't actually have to worry about the price fluctuations of crypto when using Codugh. So they can get a completely native fiat experience while utilizing the unique properties of BSV, which powers everything under the hood. This means that they can get things like low fee international transactions and microtransactions while only seeing sort of the US dollar or whatever their native fiat currency is on the front end, which means that anyone who doesn't care about crypto or doesn't want to know about crypto can actually use crypto without even realizing it necessarily, because it's just running everything beneath the surface. And beyond that, we think STAS in particular is a really great token technology because it runs on the Bitcoin layer itself, so on the bottom layer. And that means that everything sort of runs super smoothly without us having to check any third parties or rely on any third parties on a regular basis. So that's what we really like about STAS. We can rely on it in the long term.
And as far as you know, are you guys still the only or one of the only companies that can do this tokenization swap between fiat and a certain cryptocurrency?
Well, I mean, at the moment, there are a lot of sort of larger companies with their larger tokens doing similar things on other blockchains. But I think the thing that really differentiates what we're doing is that we're using a microtransaction token. What that means is that each token, rather than being sort of a dollar, each token is actually 1/100th of a cent. So it allows users to deal in the smallest degrees of microtransactions and nanotransactions when transferring money back and forth.
Okay, great. Now maybe you've answered this next question already, but dive a little bit deeper on how both What's on Chain and STAS helps Codugh achieve your goals, but also how does that get passed on to your customers and help them achieve theirs?
Certainly. So What's on Chain, obviously, as we mentioned, we use What's on Chain as part of our platform as well. So it operates as a source of truth and a back end to all the BSV interactions that we make. So we obviously hold a lot of data with us, but whenever we're unsure about data, we want to double check, we could always ask What's on Chain because we know that they'll give us they'll scan the blockchain, give us super accurate, up-to-date data on our users' balances and the latest transactions that we've sent out, and anything else that happens. So it's that's how we use the tool. And it helps our customers achieve that simply because, well, if they can use it on the platform, then that's a bonus that they can get more value from the platform. And with STAS, we use it obviously, as I mentioned, to power our micropayment infrastructure, and our users get just a far superior user experience than they used to, because they can use it with a fiat native experience. So they don't have to, people who don't care about crypto, care about BSV, can keep not caring, and they can just use USD, but they can get the great benefits and the unique properties of Bitcoin to help them out.
And you're a young guy. Folks in your generation, they probably have a good handle on some of blockchain, what it can do. But for a lot of people, a lot of executives and business owners, it's still difficult to grasp. What are some of the practical ways that what Codugh is doing can positively impact businesses, society at large?
Well, I think one of the practical ways that Codugh can impact sort of society at large is by creating sort of correct value pegging. So obviously, the issue with a lot of parts of the internet right now is monthly subscriptions and people paying sort of big chunks of money without really understanding how much they're going to use and everything like that. But as people start talking about concepts like the Web3, the Internet of Value, sort of the transactional layer of the economy, and whatever else, Codugh does sort of all of that already, and we can give the tiniest amount of value to every single action that people do. So if you're paying for an API, you're accessing a web page, you're doing whatever, and people can value that at 1/100 of a cent. They can value it at 1 cent. They can say, oh, this is actually a really, really great web page. You actually pay 10 cents if you want to come here. And we can process all of those transactions and infrastructure in real time, and people will be getting paid sort of straight away for people accessing their data and information. And I think that assigning sort of the correct value, which is, as small as that can be, to singular interactions is just going to be a massive expansion to our economy into the future. And I think that's a really good way that Codugh will improve society moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. And we're talking about the advancement into Web3, the metaverse, MetaNet services that TAAL is positioned to be a leader on.
Yeah.
And you guys, your success in the blockchain world already, how do you see Codugh and TAAL collaborating in the years ahead?
Well, obviously, I mean, as you mentioned, TAAL is looking at transitioning into more of a MetaNet service provider. That's sort of the new take, and with the sort of powering sort of the foundational layer, as you guys say, of the Web3 infrastructure and the Internet of Value. So what I think is great is that Codugh is sort of, if you look at sort of the ecosystem and what people are building out in that direction, Codugh is powering the transactional layer. So you can sort of see how, if you look at our roadmaps and compare them and you think about what we're building forward, Codugh and TAAL are building sort of parallelly in the same direction. So I certainly see our collaborations getting a lot deeper and a lot more significant in the future, because we're building in exactly the same direction, and our products will likely complement each other on a very high degree moving forward. So I'm looking forward to where that leads, and how we work together in the future.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to more conversations with you and seeing how you guys grow your operations. And thanks again for joining us here, and speak again soon.
Always a pleasure, Adrian. Thank you.